the National Film and Sound Archive posted a photo on their Twitter feed of Dame Edna Everage holding a cake with a giant spider on it. And I loved it and retweeted it saying I really want to make a spider cake now, and it came back going, do it, send us a slice. So challenge accepted. And I figured that, you know, I've made Viking bread. How hard can a cake be? I'm just so nervous. So I've been debating with, it turns out 3 generations of bakers to figure out how to make this cake. So today I'm going to attempt to make a said spider cake without a recipe, but heavily influenced by the Australian Women's Weekly birthday cake book from the 80s. So the cake itself is simple, and in the book they do say that you can use a packet cake, a cake mix. I assume that's the bigger one, right? It probably doesn't matter that my spider has crumbs in it, right? Not gonna lie, it looks a little lumpy. Never mind, ongoing. 40 to 45 minutes. Remember in the Viking bread video where I said I wasn't very good at baking? Yeah, I set my timer, but I forgot to turn it on. So we're gonna see how the cake is. Wish me luck. I mean, it's still a little bit, but I'm gonna say that's okay. It's probably puddingy. Anyway, good enough for me. There was a lot of debate on how to make the body. Some people suggested chocolate crackle, and some people suggested a chocolate crackle dipped in chocolate, which I thought was quite elaborate. Other people suggested a chocolate snowball, but that's covered in white coconut. Eventually I just decided to make it out of cake, because there's a number of cakes in the book where they could just carve cakes to make the decorations. So here's the thing. I was thinking that the cake was very thin, and that modern cake packets make a much thicker cake. And my plan was to cut the thick cake in half, and then half of it would be the cake, and then I would have half of it to sort of sculpt a spider out of. It's not thick enough, is it? But I think I have a plan. I'll be back in a second. So when you don't have enough cake, you need just a little bit more cake. Where do you get that from? Bakery! I went out and bought some mud cakey things. I'm gonna take the icing off and make the spider out of that. Ha! Solved it! The stuff I bought from the bakery is so squishy that you could really just sort of mold it. Oh, I'm a bit tempted to do it, I have to tell you. Alright, I'm totally gonna do it. I'm gonna treat this like plasticine, and I'm gonna mold it together. Ah. It's really gross. It's cold and it's squishy. Ah! That's so nice. Alright, that was totally the right decision. Although it's quite malleable, it's not great at holding together once I've malleabled it. The icing is simple because it's just a plain buttercream recipe, and they've got the recipe for that in the book. How is it that I'm always sieving things? So the cake was super pale, so I got to work really hard to only get a tiny bit of this in. Okay, sort of working. It is picking up crumbs. How do we feel about this? I think that's okay, and that wobbly bit, I can put the spider over that. Now it's time to draw the spider web. That the cake is going to fall off the fork though. You can do it, I know you can. I believe in you. Damn! Now, it fell in the crumbs. To get the roughness of the body, my mum suggested that back in the 70s you could put chocolate sprinkles in chocolate icing to make it rough, or desiccated coconut. Desiccated coconut would show up white though, so I decided that I would go with the chocolate sprinkles. When I got to the supermarket, however, the chocolate sprinkles had beef gelatin in them, so I didn't really want to eat cow in my cake. So instead we went with Milo. I'm so proud of that. That's so awesome. So it's day 2 of the spider cake challenge, and you might notice that I'm wearing the same t-shirt as I was yesterday, and that's because that's what they do on the Bake Off. The thing that most people were debating about were the legs. So somebody suggested to dip a bendy straw in chocolate and put that on the cake, and although that sounds like a recipe for trouble on a children's cake, dipping something inedible in something delicious, there are a number of inedible things in the original cake decorating book, like pipe cleaners for spider legs, and the ghost has eggshells for eyes. It's not quite as out there as you might think. The most popular suggestion was licorice dipped in chocolate, but if you have a look at the legs have this really sharp angle where the elbows, wrists, knees, whatever the bendy bit is on a spider, I just didn't think that the licorice would give that really a sharp bend. So in the end, my sister suggested drizzled chocolate, and she promises me this is a very 70s technique, so that's what I'm going to try today. And although I've iced cakes before and baked before, occasionally, I've never melted chocolate or done any chocolate work. But, you know, I've watched baking shows, so this should be a doddle, right? There's a bad one that's a bit wibbly. We'll just put that at the back. Alright, so now I'm going to put these in the fridge. It also needs some eyes, so in true Australian 70s fashion, Smarties! Now I'm nervous. We've come so far. We're so close. So I've spent now 2 days on this masterpiece, and I can't tell you how nervous I am that the legs won't work or they'll bust, and I've run out of chocolate. Oh, my hands are really warm. Should I get cold hands? Is that going too far for this thing? I worry it's not. This is a cold, instant cold. This is gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Oh my god, I can't believe we're doing it. So here are the first 4 legs. Ah, it's working! It's working! It's so working! Alright, little guy. Oh my god, that's awesome. It's working! It's so working! I'm so happy. Alright. Last 4, last 4. Are they all gonna fit? Oh no, it's melting in my hand. I might lose its bum putting this one in. No, it worked. Spider cake, spider cake.